Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a wrestling recap for you. I'm shooting this today. I want to talk about AEW Double or Nothing from last night in Jacksonville, Florida, in front of a very very small crowd. I mean, there was just enough people in like the front rows, all from wrestlers on the roster not booked. There was really no attendance. You know what I mean? But the inclusion of just having people there to respond, to react with the wrestlers live was so refreshing to what we've been watching from WWE. In fact, the show was very refreshing from what you've seen in WWE in many ways. Now, I like WWE, but don't you love it when not everything's the fucking same? Anyhow, and I'm probably gonna rush through this video a bit because it's already 10:30. I had a long day at work today, but this is the first AEW pay per view that I got to see, so I definitely wanted to talk about it. Kicking the show off was a casino ladder match. This was a 9-man ladder match. Basically working like a Royal Rumble where two guys start every 2 minutes, another guy comes out with a match, but the match could end at absolutely any time. We had Frank Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, Kip Sapien, uh, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Colt Cabana, Superbad Joey Janela, Luchasaurus, and Brian Cage. Now, this is the first time I ever saw Brian Cage wrestle. And whoa, what an impression. What a beast, man. This guy was really bad. It's the second he walks out through the entrance, rips a ladder in half. That was so cool, man. I just told people, literally, it took all 8 guys just to drag him, not tip the ladder over, not knock him off, but to just drag him rung by rung down the ladder. Orange Cassidy, I was about to swing and try to choke him out. It was so cool that they bury him under this, under all this debris. And they're really selling one of the giant casino chips, and that's just great. The set was awesome. I love the cards with, like the aces, John Moxley with the world title, and your king and queen are like, Cody and Brandy or whatever. But this giant poker chip that they tried to bury him under all this other shit too. But they're really selling how heavy this thing is because like 4 guys are carrying it over. And then there's like the spot of the most insane spot of the match where Joey Janela got, I want to say it was Sabian, maybe not, but he has a guy on his shoulders, a running Death Valley driver, off the apron, onto the pile of debris, with Brian Cage still under all the shit. Fucking Darby Allin, insane spot, like jumps off the top of like a huge ladder outside with a skateboard, through another ladder, the guy moves, just absolutely eats shit. There's an interference out the ass in this. Penelope Ford gets involved. Best friends get involved. Marco Stunt choke slams Orange Cassidy. It was so silly. I want to see Marco Stunt just get Brock Lesnar by Rey Mysterio Jr. That would be so fucking funny. Jimmy Havoc coming in wearing a suit he must have bought off of Patrick Bateman. It was insane. It was an insane match. Brian Cage ends up winning after like gorilla press slamming Darby Allin, who's laid across a smaller ladder, throws him over the top rope to the outside into another standing ladder. No one there to catch Darby Allin. Just let the poor man fall to his death. What a hell of an opening match. Hell of an opening match, and what a hell of a first impression from Brian Cage. I'm all on board on this. That guy is the man. Next up is MJF versus Jungle Boy. This match is a little weird to me because I like the match. I like the slow build, and then they get really chaotic. An insane spot where Jungle Boy does reverse Hurricane Rana on MJF on the ring apron. MJF eventually wins by a series of roll-ups. He gets a really tight, low bridge, holds him back, gets a pin, MJF wins. I just kind of feel that MJF is really on this push, on this roll, really getting lots of momentum and traction right now. Maybe one of the best fucking heels in the business, to be honest with you. And considering his last pay-per-view was a high-profile victory over Cody Rhodes, a former world champion and the fucking boss of the show, I don't know. It kind of felt like him fighting Jungle Boy. You could say this is a showcase moment for Jungle Boy, but is MJF really where he's not really at the position right now just because he's in the match? It's a profile match like other stars maybe. Uh, no, I felt it was kind of a bit of a demotion and a foregone conclusion that he was going to win, even though I enjoyed the match. Next up was Cody Rhodes versus Vance Archer from the tournament finals to determine the first ever TNT Heavyweight Champion. I like the title belt. Yes, Tony Schiavone said something about this isn't really the finished version of the belt, because the whole nonsense they weren't able to get the gold plates, the final gold plate. So it's an unfinished belt apparently. Um, and it kind of really reminded me of the old NWA TNT TV World Title, the one like Dusty Rhodes and Nikolai Volkov held. Um, and I love Vance Archer interfering. He is one of the coolest entrances like ever. Just instead of doing your stupid taunts and all this stuff like that, you walk to the ring, dragging some random crew guy out with you to beat up, to warm you up for the fight. I love that. Um, Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, both at ringside. Arn Anderson, the face, blatantly interferes and fucks a spot up for Vance Archer. The referee sees him, throws him out ringside, and just throws Jake Roberts out too. Just a few minutes later, Cody Rhodes hits Crossroads, picks him up, hits the second Crossroads, pins him, and is the inaugural TNT champion. Despite being high stakes, high emotions, Mike Tyson at ringside, inaugural title match kind of thing. This was I just couldn't. I didn't get into this one then. This match just didn't jive with me. I've never really liked Vance Archer, even though I think they finally got a gimmick that's working for him. But yeah, he's never been my cup of tea. I just wasn't feeling this match. Next up was a women's match with Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford. This is the second time we see Penelope Ford on the show, and neither time does she do her sexy drop split entrance. I thought it was both weird and lame at the same time. This was actually Ford is replacing Dr. Britt Baker, who is the most over and best thing about their chick division right now, in my opinion. She got hurt. She wasn't able to make this match, which kind of made the whole match kind of feel pointless to me. They didn't want to screw Statlander out of a pay-per-view payday. I dig it. But I don't know, just didn't jive. By the way, also Ray Phoenix was injured during a big brawl Wednesday night, and he was replaced by Superbad Joey Janela. I love Chris Sabian coming to the ring in this match with crutches and all bandaged up after the ladder match earlier. That was really funny. It's just the two girls. I mean, they don't have any beef in this match. Even the Britt Baker match that was supposed to happen, they didn't really have any build. They felt the time to do the best they can. It's not a bad match or anything like that. Statlander hits kind of a modified, wicked-looking sit-down tombstone, or drop tombstone, very similar to a move Frankie Kazarian used to use years ago. And Statlander wins. It's a whatever. It's a whatever match. Again, not bad. And even though I will point out 2 matches in a row that really didn't do anything for me, it was different and better than what we get with WWE. Because with WWE lately, you may have a mid-hour or 45-minute stretch in a pay-per-view that's just kind of killing time. But at least here I didn't feel like I was watching the same match 2 times in a row, like I very, very often do. That will be a bit of a problem in a minute, though. Next up is Dustin Rhodes versus Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears has been very much of a comic book villain lately, being very animated and looking right into the camera, doing big faces and stuff. He did the challenge for this match was some kind of bizarre news anchor thing, talking about the mediocre career of Dustin Rhodes. Okay, buddy. Okay. Right over Shawn Spears, that's like, Dustin Rhodes is going to be here tonight. He's retired. Comes out in a nice suit, man. I clean up good, don't I? And bonus points for stealing the Joker line. Man, I'm here, but where is Dustin Rhodes? He's at home, washing his tights. Love it. Love that. Penelope. Brandon talking about Penelope Ford so much already. Brandy Rhodes comes out, causes a distraction. Dustin comes up behind him, and this is really a comedy match. Just like 3 or 4 minutes, if that. Dustin Rhodes rips his suit apart. Very reminiscent of the Roddy Piper Dusty Goldust match from WrestleMania 12, but no cross dressing. He pulls Spears' pants down and spanks him. Well, he is Goldust, goddammit. And when he pulls him down to just his drawers, he's got a little photograph of Tully Blanchard right over his crotch. What the fuck? This was just, it was so stupid, but it was so short, it was inoffensive. You know what I mean? I mean, not prefer, but I do enjoy, I like to have some stupid in my wrestling, and this supplied the stupid. Next up was the Women's Championship match. No DQ. Nyla Rose defending against Shida. Now, I want to point out that if it wasn't for everybody and their mother just constantly, like, basically supporting Nyla Rose and saying she should be a big star because she's, transgendered woman, if you want to make such a big deal about it, literally every time she's brought up, I wouldn't even known. I mean, I could tell there was something off, but I mean, and I'm also at the same time, it's not like I'm going to sit here and say she shouldn't be allowed to compete because of her biology. I mean, this isn't real sports. That's nowhere near the same argument. This is pro wrestling, so it doesn't really matter. The Undertaker wanted to crown a Monsters Championship, an Undead Championship. Like only him, Kane, and Aleister Black. Anyone who's done a Risen from the Dead gimmick before, only they can challenge for the belt. Fuck it, do it. It's wrestling. It doesn't matter. But that being said, yeah, I was happy to see Shida win the belt. Hard-hitting match. Girls beat the shit out of each other. I like the use of the set and weapon, especially the set around them. And like I said, Shida wins, new champion. First time this title is changed on pay-per-view. It was alright. Now, AEW double main event time. AEW World Heavyweight title match, Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose versus Mr. Brody Lee or Luke Harper. Now, a lot of people were fair that Luke Harper's just come to AEW. He's already getting a world title match. This is something they should have saved. But at the same time, how can you not be stoked? Because you've watched wrestling, you've watched the last 10 years or less. You've seen these guys go at before, and they got terrific chemistry. So these guys beat the shit out of each other. And here's where I had a little... I mean, I enjoyed this match a lot more than the women's match. I thought it was better wrestlers, higher stakes, more emotion, and even more brutality. But my problem here is, the last match was no disqualification. They made it very clear. That was part of the rules. This match is supposed to be traditional, straight up, and they use just as much weapons, fight on the floor just as much. The referee just lets it go. So what was the point of the last match being no DQ if you're just going to do just as much insanity, if not more, in the next match, which is supposed to be traditional? I just thought they shouldn't have been right next to each other. That's all. A lot of awesomeness. I mean, he throws Jon Moxley onto a picture of Jon Moxley. That's awesome. Paradigm shift through the ramp. And at the very beginning of the show, when I saw the ramp that's even in the ring, I started thinking about somebody might fall through that motherfucker. It's like, if that's like a thing that when you see wrestling, it's like a consistent thing, it's gonna play into a spot. So yeah, they fall through it. That's great. He goes and hits a second paradigm shift. Brody Lee kicks out, which was awesome because really that's been a protected finisher since he's come to AEW. He locks in a fucking sleeper and chokes him out. Gets a knockout victory over Brody. I think this is good. It protects Brody. Makes the champ look like a fucking beast slayer, and at the same time, it shows I mean, the resilience and everything of the champion, and also kind of gets around what I figure they're just going to be. When they both fall through the rep, okay, this is going to be the double come out. The referee can only let so much go, and this is how they're going to protect both guys. But they didn't go that route. They gave us a real winner, and that was cool. Main event time. Holy shit. I can't spend an hour talking about this match, so I'm just going to try to be fast. 10-man tag team stadium stampede match. It is the Inner Circle, which is Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, who's Jack Swagger, and Ortiz and Santana, who are a great tag team, versus the Elite, the Young Bucks, The tag team champions, Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, and honorary elite member for this match, Broken Matt Hardy. They fucking start the match charging each other like the X-Men or like a Justice League thing, you know, it was so funny. Like 12 seconds into the match, Kenny Omega's hitting a motherfucker with a broom, because God bless him. There's a ring in there, but in like this 30-minute match, that ring is like almost not used at all. There's a few spots, maybe 3 minutes or so. Hangman Adam Page chases Sammy Guevara down the fucking field on a goddamn horse. And then he takes a horse to the bar, where later Jack Swagger comes in, they sit down and have a drink, and they have a saloon fight in the middle of this match. There's crazy shit where Ortiz and Santana tried to drown Matt Hardy, and every time he pops back up, he's a different version of Matt Hardy. He's Steven Stream, now he's version 1. Okay, now he's Broken Matt Hardy again. He eventually separates them, divides and conquers. There's they fucking get the golf cart and they chase Sammy Guevara down again. They Chris Jericho does like challenges of 3 count and go look at the replay. You know, make fun of football. They make fun of they do a hockey gag. One of the Young Bucks does this ridiculous, awful Alex Wright impression. He can't be Alex Wright, but anyhow. And he gets a flag for excessive celebration. The Jackson super kicks the fucking referee. It's just insane. But I mean, on top of all this silliness, there's some great spots, some really dangerous shit these guys are going for at the same time, and especially the finish. Fucking Kenny Omega got goddamn Sammy Guevara up for the most convoluted finisher of all time, the One-Winged Angel. He jumps off one set of the stands through another on this big set. They crash through, barely gets a finger on. Aubrey Adams has to take a cute little Aubrey Adams has to take a fucking ladder just to get up to where they fell and landed. Count 3 and it is mercifully over. The show ends with them dumping Gatorade on Kenny Omega for getting the pin and big fireworks. I loved it. I loved the variety of wrestling. I loved the variety of characters more than anything. It was just the fact that there were characters. Not the fact that everybody was playing the same tired, same match you see, same style you see, same look you see, all the time with everybody. Like you take every female villain in WWE for years is exactly the same. Smug, up her own ass bitch. Thought they were going to do something interesting, more manipulative with Bayley, but they just same thing. Smug, up her own ass bitch. That's what they always do. It was great. It was a really, really, really fun show. I had a blast. I thought it moved smoothly. Even though I didn't enjoy or didn't love every single match, there was nothing on this show that really just dragged down and slowed everything to a crawl like some of the Bray Wyatt matches I've seen over the last few months. I really enjoyed this show, and I can't wait to see more from AEW. Anyhow, I hope y'all enjoy this video. I hope you keep an eye out for all my other videos. I am thinking about maybe, since I'm really getting burnt out on these empty arena shows, I like AEW, at least there's some reaction there from a crowd. But I'm so burnt out on this shit WWE is doing. I miss the crowd. And they're really starting to play more and more like this is, like, is WWE going to keep this up, like, far longer than it needs to just because they're kind of saving a lot of money right now? That sucks. That really sucks. But I'm thinking about maybe doing some classic wrestling pay-per-view reviews. Not like, a shitload every week or so, maybe once a month. But I'm thinking about maybe doing that. Thinking of it. Other people do shit like that, but other people do shit like this. I'm nothing original. Just, I'm on the fly. Anyhow, I hope y'all like this. I'm Jake Davis, and I will catch you on the fly.